Hello, friends. Welcome to Pieces Here, the daily series exploring the architects of enough. We continue our theme, The Path of Radical Simplicity, by honoring the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Born into slavery, he proved that the greatest wealth is not needing more, and that the ultimate radical simplicity is found in the freedom of the mind. Architect of Enough. Epictetus was an ancient Greek Stoic philosopher born around 50 AD. His life is a stark testament to the idea that simplicity is not just an aesthetic choice, but a path to fundamental, unshakable freedom. Born into slavery in the Roman Empire, Epictetus eventually gained his freedom and taught philosophy, though he himself lived a profoundly austere life. His teachings centered on the dichotomy of control, the principle that everything in life falls into one of two categories: things we can control, our thoughts, judgments, and desires, and things we cannot control, our body, our reputation, and our possessions. For Epictetus, the entire purpose of philosophy was to practice radical simplicity by renouncing any emotional attachment to the things we cannot control. When we chase after external complexities, more money, more status, or the approval of others, we surrender our inner peace. He taught that if you desire little, you are never poor. If you focus only on your inner moral choices, you are never truly a slave. This radical simplicity of focus became the foundation of his freedom, a powerful message for anyone seeking inner peace in a cluttered world. Epictetus reminds us that true enoughness is an internal accomplishment achieved not by gaining possessions, but by reducing our wants. To explore his teachings, his short practical handbook, the Enchiridion, is an indispensable guide. The Enough Reflection. Epictetus challenges us to recognize the burden of attachment. Every object, every expectation of a certain outcome requires time, energy, and worry. This is the cost of clutter. When we achieve radical simplicity of mind, we free up that energy to focus entirely on living ethically and intentionally, which is the only thing we ever truly control. This reminds me of one of the tips from Peace Stuff Enough, the new companion book to One More Year. You can find it and follow the Kickstarter at avaskalvsbeck.com Kickstarter. What external outcome am I currently worried about that I genuinely cannot control? That is someone else's opinion, a market trend, the weather. If I were to focus today only on what is within my power, my effort, my attitude, my ethical choice, how much simpler would my actions become? Pedro says, though he became one of the most influential philosophers in history, Epictetus owned no books during his teaching career, believing that wisdom should be written on the soul, not on a scroll. His lectures were only recorded because one of his devoted students painstakingly took down his words. Words to keep. Epictetus's definition of wealth is perhaps the most profound statement on the path of radical simplicity. He said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." He taught us that we can choose to be rich right now simply by reducing the measure of what we need. If this daily message has brought you peace, please take a moment to subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs it. That was the life and wisdom of our architect of enough for this episode. If their story has inspired you to seek your own path to less consumption and more contentment, then please step off the treadmill with me. Let's learn from the architects of enough and discover together that for our planet, for our community, and for ourselves, peace is here. To follow my work, including the new book, Peace Stuff Enough, the entire Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series, and the podcast archive, visit avaskalfsbeck.com. That's also where you can find the link to my current Kickstarter. Our music is Dalai Lama Riding a Bike by the talented Javier Peque Rodriguez. You can find links to his music on Spotify and Bandcamp in the show notes. Thank you again. Listen for the peace.